Hey guys, welcome back to Tomatoes, Poppies, and Everything Gardening. We're going to be potting up some baby tomato seedlings this episode. So that is at the very end of the video. If you're not interested in update on my germination rates with these seedlings and babies and how things went week 1 into week 2, this is technically week 2. So these are at least 14 days old at this point. You can skip to the end of the video, but I hope you will join me for all of the video. Sometimes I add little snippets of tips here and there, but we will be potting up, especially the guys here on the very top layer. So it's March the 10th. They are 14 days old and they are doing great. So I can't wait to show you. I've got my count tally here for my tomatoes and peppers and eggplants. And I've had these guys out here a couple, like 2-3 hours this afternoon. Waited till it warmed up and the sun wasn't so intense because they've had quite a few days indoors this past week. But they're doing well. So more germination than last week on the peppers and eggplants. But they are still, like I said, I need to do this 2 weeks ahead of time. They are about 2 weeks behind most of the tomatoes. Look at these little cuties. They are just adorable. And so what I'm doing at this point with seedlings that look like this at week 2, I do kind of rub the tops every now and then, nice and gently, just to kind of stimulate them, mimic wind, make the stem stronger. And also, I love the smell. Oh my gosh, I've missed it so much. I've missed that tomato essence. So I'm also got the oscillating fan going on these guys. And at this point, I'm only bottom watering plants that look like this, plants that are really and truly 2 weeks old. You can see they've got true leaves popping out. So what's going to happen for these guys week 2 into week 3, this tray will immediately, well, it's going to take me days, let's be realistic. I will be potting them up into these little 6-cell containers. So I can only fit 36 in a 10 by 10 tray. These are new. I just bought them from Bootstrap. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not doing a review, but the quality, I bought these first trays about 4 years ago. I see a difference in the quality. The price went up significantly. I went back and looked at my order from last time, which was 4 years ago. The 10 by 10 5-pack or 10-pack or whatever, it went up by like $20. It was a lot, maybe 30. And then I've noticed I've got a few defects on these guys. I don't know. They just don't seem as sturdy as I was imagining. They definitely are not as sturdy as the Epic Gardening trays that I got last fall. Anyways, that was just a side note. Purple's my favorite color though, so I had to get those. Potting up, fan, a lot of outdoor time when possible for the 2-week-old guys. Now the ones that have just popped out, now these guys can also get potted up, but they're going to be potted up after the bigger boys over here. Now I still have germination happening. Some of these seeds got planted just like 3-4 days ago. I do see a few starting to germinate. Did pick a few tomatoes to go ahead and start after that last video last week. These guys were started exactly 6 days ago, and you can see maybe 7, maybe it was 7, 6 or 7 days ago. I have pretty decent germination. These are the seeds from Hudson Valley that I was waiting on. Now I do have some peppers and I think an eggplant or two where absolutely nothing is happening. And so now we're on week 2 with absolutely no germination. I did use a heating mat, did use humidity dome, did keep the soil level moist for those seeds to germinate. It could just be an issue with some old seeds. Some of these were really old seeds. These two right here, I know I got those from my neighbor. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe she didn't store them properly. So now is the time I'm making some decisions on, do I hang on to a couple of these trays and hope that maybe something germinates? Maybe some of them, some of the newer seed packs. But I want to start moving on. I'm thinking about getting down to maybe one big tray with some of the seeds that I'm waiting on germination with. So these are still kind of small for me to start thinking about potting up unless I put them into one of my trays that's a little bigger than this, but it has 16 pockets, so it's a much smaller cell size. I may do that, but this is when things start getting tricky, because once all of these guys are potted up, let's say there is 18 in each block container here, that's a lot of space in my growing system. So yeah, it's going to get really, really tight really soon. So I will have to give up on some of these slow to germinate seeds just because I need the space. Now I am using the outdoor sun a lot. I did get my little greenhouse cleaned up, but it's still kind of cold at night. Maybe next week I can start leaving some tomato plants out there. Got some solar heat going with my spray painted black jugs that generate heat during the day. Because they're painted black, they've got water inside. That water gets hot, and then at night it releases into my little greenhouse if I've got the flap zip tight. So I will start doing that soon. I did have a bird's nest in there again this year, but it's been removed, so I can actually use the greenhouse this year, which is going to be nice. So that's where things stand for week 2. As we move into week 3, I'm going to be busy potting up. I might do a tray here in just a second so we can look at that. I'm not going to do them all. I'll just do like, maybe one tray. And yeah, just making some hard calls on some of these peppers and eggplants. But I have enough. I mean, I think I'm going to be good. And I have been keeping track as I went the last couple weeks. When I check on my plants, I check on them every day. And the tally has went up. So I'm happy about that. So as of right now, everyone is still getting 12 to 16 hours of grow light in my kitchen bay window every day. Some that have not germinated still have plastic wrap, as you can see here. And actually, I've got 3 empty spots right here. I haven't even filled yet. So the poblano really did kick into gear this week. You can see, I think I got about 11. California Wonder, there's only 6 or 7, but that's okay. That's all I need. Now, some of these other trays, actually all of the ones right here just have one tiny baby popping up. So they have earned a right to get back under the grow lights tonight. Now these guys have not. So I'm either going to put them over in my greenhouse, or I do have the space tonight just to fit them right there. But I have a feeling these are duds. I had one eggplant Beatrice. This was like a combo of serrano and habanero. Those were the seeds my neighbor gave me that could have been stored improperly or super duper old. They were from like 2021. And then I think these were 2 different habanero, mild habanero, a red and an orange, that I couldn't get to germinate last year either. So I'm going to call these 5 varieties duds. I don't have any more seeds from those anyway, so that kind of works out. Let's go have a peek at the greenhouse. I want to show you something there real quick. So did y'all see the video where I cleaned this up? There was a birdhouse in here. It's clearly abandoned at this point. But I wanted to show you my onions, which they're really small, but I may just go ahead and put them in the ground. Give them a little haircut, put them in the ground, see how they do. I have 1 artichoke germinating in each container in my winter sowing. And this is what I wanted to show you. So this is, one side is early girl, one side is tangerine dream pepper. I bought the seeds just last week or 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, something like that. And I planted equal amounts indoors under grow lights, and then equal amount in my little winter sowing. None have germinated here. All have germinated indoor in the seedling trays under lights. So that doesn't mean we're calling this guy out yet. Things really do work differently in the land of winter sowing. Those seeds may not be at the right temperature yet. So I'm not going to call it yet on this experiment. However, I kind of do still prefer nightshades indoor under lights. And the broccolis, they are taking their own sweet time. and it has worried me to death. Not sure if they like these trays. I have to water them every day. And they're just little micro babies. It's taken forever for them to get their first set of true leaves. So I don't know what to think about that yet. May go ahead and just put them in the ground as well, even though they're just microscopic. Maybe I'll try some flower seeds in this tray and see how I like it. Let's go do one of these trays real quick. I'm thinking I could fit, you know, like 2 of these in one of the purple containers. We'll do some quick potting up. I mean, there's really nothing to it, but I'll show you what I'm going to do. Definitely going to be burying these guys a little deep. I mean, they're not two-leggy at all. They're actually quite cute and adorable. I think they look great. I think you'll be surprised, though, when you see the root system down below. And that is why, for the past week, I have been bottom watering these trays. An important point real quick. Every time I bring these trays in, every single time, I check, I take them out, I look down in the tray. You would not believe how many times I have caught an earwig, ants trying to come in here. So every night I check the trays, make sure there's no one trying to come in for the night inside of these trays.
The next day.
All right, guys, so we're towards the end of the video now. I'm just going to be potting up probably just 1 tray of these guys with you guys, or maybe just like 6 of these little guys. And I know I just said the word guys like 3 or 4 times. I had to have blood work this morning, so I haven't had my coffee yet. So my brain is not functioning quite yet. But here is my coffee. There's a little bit of my sourdough discard banana bread with peanut butter on it. How is your sourdough doing? Did you guys start one this winter? And is it still functioning and you're making lots of yummy recipes? Mine is now kind of retired into the fridge because I've been just too busy with the garden and everything else in life to keep up with it. So now I just bring it out once a week. Okay, so let's pick a tray. These guys are getting huge, so I'm thinking they may need to get potted up first. I did want to show you 2 things. One, and I think it's from my grow lights. I think these guys are too close to the light. This is sun scald or sunburn in a tomato plant, and that can happen. I think this particular leaf was actually probably laying right under the light. I do not think it's from the sun, from being outdoors, because it's just very specific areas. And a few of these babies here, these are basils, you can see they actually got a little toasted. Just a few of them. Some of them look great. So the cotyledon leaves are the first leaves to come out of a seed. Like, see right there? And they give that baby new seedling nutrition. And, you know, it helps push the soon-to-be seedling out of the seed head, out of the seed. And then eventually you don't need those leaves, right? So I like to pinch them off when I plant my tomato plant, usually, not always, especially if they're yellow. I have a theory that once the nutrition from those cotyledon leaves are vanquished, they kind of turn yellow, like there's no nutrition left in them. That's just a theory of mine. I don't know if that's true or not. You can see these guys got a little bit of sunburn too, but they'll be fine. I usually do end up burning my plants a little bit for my grow lights because I like to keep them so close, and I don't like to get leggy plants. We're going to start with Kellogg's Breakfast because that was the first tomato to germinate for me. And it looks like there's about 18 of these guys. So I'll be taking up half of this side of the tray with just Kellogg's Breakfast. I'm hoping I can find another one that is exactly 18 plants to pot up to fit over on this half right here. Honestly, these guys have grown so well, so quickly that these cells look so tiny. But remember, I have limited space in these weeks leading up to where we might get a little bit more warmer weather. So they're going to actually be in these little cups, maybe, I don't know, a week or 2. And then I will put them into probably a solo cup because some of these are going to be donated. Some of these are going to be given away. Some of these may sell some. And I need to have them in something portable, you know, to go to their new homes. So after this potting up here, our final placement for where they're going to be living until they get put into the ground or a container. So I'm just going to gently kind of work my fingers into the soil all around. This guy right here is the one we're working on. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom of the container, kind of work all the way around the plant, and then gently try to lift him. Yep. And here we go. This is what we got. He's got a nice root ball. He's got a big stem. And so we're going to bury him deep. He is an indeterminate. I'm just going to stick him down in there. Nice and gentle. What a cutie. Oh, I love him. And then we're going to come over here and get a little bit of this freshly moistened soil. Potting mix. It's just potting mix. And I'm going to drop it all the way around him. See, he's got most of his stem covered at this point. He does still have his cotyledon leaves on. And I'm thinking I'm going to leave them. They're still so bright and vibrant and green. There's probably still some nutrition in there. And there we go. I'll probably add maybe like a quarter, half-inch more of soil and bring it up to the level of this lip. But he looks so cute. Doesn't that look beautiful? Purple and green. Kind of looks like ready for Easter. Okay, so I'm going to get busy. 18 of my Kellogg's breakfast seedlings are potted up. I moved the tape from the original seed block container over here. And so now I'm going to work on mater sandwich, but you guys don't have to hang around for that. I think you got the idea of what's going to happen now for the next few days as I pot up a lot of these tomato plants. One sad note is that there has been no germination on the berries crazy. So I did order some brand new seeds from Baker Creek. Those should be here soon. Definitely, we're only bottom watering at this point. I've got some water here quickly getting absorbed by these little guys. Also, I'm not going to be putting them out in direct light today. They're going to get babied a little bit for a day or two. They are going to be a little bit shocky. I mean, that was kind of traumatic to go from living in one of these cozy little trays all bunched together to getting kind of, you know, pulled away, put into their own little pot, little cell. So yeah, I'll give them a day or two, baby them a little bit. And just, if they go out today and tomorrow, it's going to be more low part sun instead of being out in full sun as they have been accustomed to. Now, if you've not hardened off your plants in any way, you can't just stick them out in the sun. You got to take your time and go really slowly building up that exposure to the elements, to the sun. But remember, my guys have been exposed from before they even, well, not before. My guys have been exposed since they just popped out of those seeds. So they're used to the sun. They've had a lot of days, many, many days out in the sun. But they are going to get babied. All right, guys. See you soon. I'll see you for week 3 next Tuesday. Bye.